So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Viviana Mancini. I'm part of the Academic Secretariat. I thank you so much for being here this afternoon, for joining this presentation of our master's degree program in Biotechnology for Innovative Therapeutics at Università Vita-Salute San Raffaele. I introduce to you Professor Giorgio Casari, who is the president of our degree course and who will present the course in detail. Thank you.
So welcome everyone. So I'm going to present our, I would say, brand new course, because we restructure all the course and all the exam for the next academic years. It will be the first time that we start with a brand new program. So basically, let me start with the first sentence in this slide. So biotechnology is medical research today. This is a statement that Robert Gallo just gave us several years ago. And I think this is actually even true today, because the real medical research is done by biotechnologists, much more than physicians. And so I'm going to explain or to propose my view of this course. And of course, I will try to convince you why to choose biotechnology for innovative therapeutics at Università San Raffaele. So basically, we are one of the large campus of research in Italy, probably one of the largest biomedical research in Italy. We can count on 1,800 of researchers. We have more than 100 of different individual laboratories. And also our scientific production is quite huge. We have more than 2,600 of scientific papers published per year. In San Raffaele, we have a quite huge research community. Of course, we are all both teachers and researchers. Many of us are also physicians. And so one of the major things that we have in San Raffaele is the close proximity between research, the hospital, and the teaching. And I think this is quite unique in Italy. Let's go on. So the course for innovative, the biotechnology course for innovative therapeutics offer really a cutting-edge curriculum crafted to propel students to the forefront of the field. And we restructure, as I said, all the courses for structuring the entire course onto 4 different pillars. So we are focusing on 4 pillars that are the following one. The first pillars is dealing with molecular mechanism of and pathogenesis of the different diseases, being these hereditary diseases, communicable or non-communicable diseases. The other pillar is more based on hard sciences. For example, modern drug discovery, a huge course on multi-omic data analysis and interpretation of the data, and also another course on structure and function relationship through artificial intelligence. Of course, this is a course mostly based on the new algorithm AlphaFolds and also others. Then the third pillar is about innovative therapies and advances diagnostic approach. And as you may know, the San Raffaele is a very well known for gene therapy and RNA therapy. And these pillars will bring together some courses for giving the basic and also some advances information on these innovative therapies. The final pillar is about the regulatory affairs in the biotech world. And this is an area that is taking even more importance for our laureates, because this really represents now a big opportunity for work for our graduated. And just going in the details of this, of the courses that are embedded within each pillars, we have molecular mechanism of immunological and neurological diseases, molecular oncology, molecular virology, and also a comparative approach to preclinical models. Most of what we do in research need an animal model to demonstrate that our potential therapies are effective and useful for, and therefore we need also to develop the correct animal models. This course will give you, let's say, all the potential example of animal models to better model the human diseases. The red pillars is about modern drug discovery and development of new drugs. The comprehensive omic data analysis that is centered most of instead of being centered on the production of the data, that is quite usual, I would say also trivial, this course is centered on the data analysis, which is the real passage, the real step where we are really interested in. And finally, we have the course about structure and function relationship through artificial intelligence. Again, for the third pillar, you will have courses for cell, gene, and RNA therapies. And of course, this is based on our internal expertise that we have here in San Raffaele, in particular for gene therapies. And then a more genomic approach on the analysis of Mendelian and multifactorial diseases. Finally, we have, as I said, the regulatory affairs for biotech therapeutics, and another course that is devoted to give to our student a direct, let's say, approach to the biotech industry, ecosystem. And this course is taught by one of our former students that is now an important member of on a very famous biotech company. What else? What I told you so far are all the courses for the first year. And in the second year, you will see here that a big red rectangular that represent the experimental thesis internship for which we dedicate 12 months. And within this 12 months, there will be also 4, let's say, small courses that are the following: biotech-assisted human reproduction, connective tissue engineering, morphofunctional imaging, and the final course related to the quality and integrity in scientific research. All these courses will be administered online, and this is done just not to just to leave all the time for the student to follow for 12 months the experimental thesis internship. So this means that the thesis internship can be followed also in foreign, outside outside the university in Europe or even in the States. So I have to say that in San Raffaele, research is very well organized. We have a lot of internal facility for microscopy, for sequencing, for even for treating viral pathogens. So we have a really, let's say, a wonderful environment for research. About the thesis dissertation, well, we configured the thesis dissertation as a PhD dissertation. So we are the only one course in our university that have mainly, so the students have around the three main pictures: the relatore of the thesis, the correlatore, that is the one that will help the student to put together all the data for the internship, for the thesis, and also a controrelatore, that is a figure, is another teacher that has with the aim to go in the detail, just to propose some tough question to the student during the discussion of the thesis. Overall, the program is structured in 2 years. The first year, quite crowded of courses. The second year, more devoted to the internship. We have overall 16 specific courses, an entire year for the internship. And we have every kind of, let's say, teaching methods. We have frontal lessons. We have a lot of interactive teaching. Overall, our way of teaching is one of the goals is to propose, to develop in the students some critical thinking, and most of the courses are designed to stimulate problem-based learning. So most of the courses are done in a small group of students, where there is a tutor that is guiding the student for arriving to specific assigned goal. Okay, we have a dedicated tutor for every academic year, and the tutor is going to meet the student twice for each semester, and also the tutor can also guide the student for choosing the correct internship project. Okay, what about the career opportunity after this course? I have to say that we have several different opportunities, because the knowledge of biotechnology is becoming useful in many fields. So we have specific residencies program for, let's say, the doctorate, for PhD courses or master courses. Of course, one of the possible opportunity is also the research in biotech company, but also patent processing and the technology transfer need a lot our graduated. Again, drug development, clinical monitoring, and also scientific communication. I have to say that in Italy we need a lot some, let's say, technical journalists, some journalism that can talk about science. How is biotech in Italy? I have to say that most of the biotech in Italy is devoted to health, the red slice. But then we have also industrial environment and agricultural employment for biotech. But if we look at the revenues, of course, the health biotech is playing the major role. 74% of all the incoming developed in biotechnology are coming from the health sector, and of course the biotech life sciences is increasing. We expect to have a sort of explosion of the biotech therapies in this year, but also in the next year. And as you can see here, the biotech therapies are increasing, and in particular, if we look at a national level, we see that most of the biotech companies are based in Lombardy. So we are in Lombardy, and in particular in the region around the area around Milan, we are concentrated most of the biotech company in Italy. And of course, San Raffaele is a good starting point for this. So a few months ago, we gave we have the Nobel laureate Drew Weissman that met our student here in our university in the occasion of the laurea honoris causa that we gave him with this motivation for their discovery concerning nucleotide-based modification that enabled the development of the effective mRNA vaccine against COVID-19. And I have to say that Drew was really really nice to meet for an entire afternoon all our student that proposed him really a lot of questions. So again, how to enter our course? So we have a selective admission test to the Biotechnology for Innovative Therapeutic course. And I'm just going to show a few images about our test. So we propose a scientific papers written in English, of course. And the paper, as you can see here, is obscure for the title and the abstract of the paper, and we ask the candidate, we ask the student to propose a possible title and a possible abstract of this paper, of course, after they had the opportunity to read the entire paper. And then also we ask also some multiple choice question and also some open question. For example, these are some questions that are for if I remember correctly, the last selection of the last year. And this is one of the abstract that the student proposed. We leave only 1,500 characters for synthesize the scientific paper. This, for example, is a multiple choice question that we proposed last year. This is about the statistical methods that were used in that paper.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. I'm going to take the word for this part. So, hi, everyone. I am Laura of the Admissions and Credential Evaluation Office at UniSR. Today I'm going to briefly share with you information about academic requirements and some general information about the test. Firstly, I would like to say that the admission call is not published yet, but it will be published very soon. It will be a call reserved for European candidates, and you will very likely find it on our website next week. So check our website in the next few days. But I'm going to give you a preview of what you will find basically in the call for admission next week. So the academic requirements to access the course, the master's degree in biotechnology for innovative therapeutics, are having a title equivalent to a bachelor's degree either in biotechnology or biological sciences. So any titles that are not Italian have to be equivalent to the Italian ones. And our office, before you register for the test and before you take the test, carries out a check on the documents you will be required to upload online during the registration procedure for the admission test. We are not going to check the content of your qualifications, but we carry out a preliminary check of your academic path to make sure that you meet the Italian academic requirements to access a master's degree in Italian universities. Of course, following in compliance with the ministerial law and Italian legislation. Sorry. Okay. Very few quick information about the test. So we have 60 places available for European students this year for the academic year 2025-2026. The admission test has a cost of 150 euros, and it will be possible to register from basically the day after of the publishing of the call for admission. So it will be in the first half of July, in the next few days, and the registration period will close on September 12th. The admission test will take place on September 20. And it will be held online with the online proctoring system. So you will be able to take it from home, basically. The results will be available in 2 steps, let's say. So firstly, after normally 3 or 4 days after the admission test, you are able to access the online review, which is the review of the correction of the multiple choice questions part. So you will be able to see a first partial correction of the test. And then within 15 days from the test date, the final ranking list will be published. So you will see your full score of the test. This is basically everything for now. If you have then any questions or doubts when the admission call will be published, you can contact us via email. I will write the email in chat right now, admissions@unisr.it, and we will be available to answer every questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. So now it's time for some students and former students feedback. So I introduce to you Chiara Pilavi, who is currently a second-year student, and Eufemia Puturti, that is Public Engagement and Research Communications Officer here at San Raffaele. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chiara Pilavi, and I'm the student representative of the second year of the Biotechnology and Medical Biology course, which will become the new BEAT course. I'm here today to talk about my experience in the university, and I want to focus mainly on the thesis internship, which takes up most of the time during the master degree. Indeed, as Professor Casari explained previously, it usually takes 12 months, but it can be extended up to 18 months. For example, in my case, I started my thesis internship in October 2024, and I will end it by March 2026, when I expect to graduate. I'm doing my thesis internship in the laboratory of Dr. Monica Casucci, who is the lead of the Innovative Immunotherapy unit. And right now, I'm focusing on a novel therapy for the treatment of solid tumors. In particular, I'm working on a therapy that is known as CAR-T therapy, which has a very basic principle. We typically take lymphocytes from the blood of patients that are affected by hematological or solid tumors. We engineer these cells in the lab by the addition of a novel molecule that is known as CAR, that makes these cells able to recognize and kill cancer cells, and then we reinfuse these cells into patients. Of course, we don't do this at a clinical level, but we are trying to develop this therapy by performing in vitro experiments and in vivo experiments in which we reinfuse these cells into mouse models to verify if the therapy is currently working as we expected it to work. So my experience in the lab has been extremely positive and formative right now. I was followed since the beginning by a lab technician and a PhD student who taught me all the techniques that are required to work in the field of CAR-T therapy. So it has been a journey in which I learned a lot of things, not only from a theoretical point of view, but also from a technical point of view. And since beginning, since the first 3 months, I was able to perform experiments by my own. Right now, I'm trying to learn not only to perform more complex experiments and to learn new techniques, but also to think about new experiments, to answer new biological questions, which is the biggest part of the work of a researcher. I think that this is also the most stimulating part from my point of view. So I decided to stay here at Raffaele University for my thesis internship because I felt that there was the right project for me. And I also felt extremely welcomed by my PI since the beginning. But as Professor Casari said, you have the opportunity to do your thesis internship abroad. You can do it maybe in a European university, but you can also go abroad, like in the States. I decided to stay here in Italy, but I also wanted to do an experience abroad. That's why I applied for a summer fellowship at Harvard University that was sponsored by the Giovanni Armenise Harvard Foundation. And I was lucky enough to be awarded with this fellowship in February. So right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm in Boston. And on Monday, I will start my internship in a lab that is affiliated with Harvard University at Massachusetts General Hospital. I'm very excited about this new opportunity. And I feel also really grateful because I feel that being part of an excellent research community like the one that we have at Raffaele University was fundamental for me to grow not only as a student in the biotechnology field, but also as a scientist. And I feel that being exposed to this very stimulating and groundbreaking environment was what made me, in the end, being selected as a fellow for this fellowship. So this was my experience. Feel free to ask any kinds of questions you want. At the end, I will be happy to answer all of them.
Thank you so much, Chiara. Viviana, I think it's up to me now.
Yes, right.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eufemia Pozorti, and as you can see from the slide, this is a very complex and very pompous title. So let's cut it short and just say that I deal with science communication at my university. First of all, who is a science communicator? You may recognize some of the people here in this slide. Those are some of the most famous science communicators in Italy at the moment. And a science communicator is any professional, any biologist or biotechnologist or a physician, a physicist, anyone who is willing to put their scientific expertise at the service of a different audience. Basically, a science communicator is someone who builds bridges between science and research and different audiences and different people who are not ignorant about something, but probably have a different background. So you have to communicate research and science to those people. And the father of science communication in Italy is, of course, Piero Angela. And as he properly said, learning to communicate science is an actual science because, of course, you have to have a natural predisposition, a natural inclination towards this particular way of writing and talking to people. But you also have to be very prepared. It takes study, it takes practice. And that's what I try to do in my journey. So that's my journey in pills. I started in 2014. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in medical and pharmaceutical biotechnology in Raffaele. By the way, I'm a full product of Vita-Salute Raffaele University, and very proudly so. And still at that time, I realized that I didn't want to become a researcher in the lab. I didn't want to wear a coat, but I wanted to communicate science, actually. And my bachelor's degree thesis ended in a publication because I wrote a sort of scientific novel based on particular organelles present in our cells that I published with my supervisor of the time. And since I graduated in the early 2014 and my master's degree was going to start at the end of 2014, I had about 1 year of time, or spare time, that I decided to spend in a science communication apprenticeship that I concluded in Biotech, which is the National Association for the Development of Biotechnologies, based in Milan. And in this case, I learned something about what it means to be a science communicator. I became the president's ghostwriter. I drafted press releases. I organized scientific events. I did some management of the website and social media. So in this time, I had some hints of what it means to become a science communicator. But still, I wanted to conclude my academic journey. So in 2017, I gained my master's degree in medical, molecular, and cellular biotechnology, which is the name of the course at the time. So now today is BIT, which is the one we're talking about today. But at the time, this was the name. And again, for my master's degree thesis, I produced a pilot study, the first of its kind, where I explored what are the key features that make effective a science communication project to people who are not expert in that field. And again, it resulted in another publication in applied psychology. But since my imposter syndrome sometimes kicks in, I decided that I couldn't become a science communicator without proper training. So I couldn't become a science communicator just based on my experience. I had to be trained. And that's what I did in 2019 because I graduated with a specialization course in science communication. By the way, spoiler alert, we have a master's degree about that in science communication. I teach in that course right now, but in 2019, this was non-existent still. So I concluded this course in Turin, in University of Turin, and I learned what it means to do science communication on various levels, like on scientific journalism, which was the field that Professor Casari was talking about before, about museums and science exhibits and publishing industry, misinformation, disinformation, or in general information disorder, storytelling, public speaking. So anything you'd need to know to become a science communicator. After 2019, I became an actual public engagement and science communication officer in my university. Just my last slide. This was the last picture that we took when of my master's classroom. These are my mates. I am here somewhere in the middle. And I'd say that 85% of my colleagues now wear a coat. So they are actual researchers. But all the others found their way in different fields. Like if you have a background in biotechnology, you can do many different things. Like you can be inserted in many different fields like education and outreach, creative and interdisciplinary arts, business industry, science policy, ethics. So there are so many things that you can do. And those are not at all alternative careers. Those are careers per se. So it's not something less than becoming a researcher. But I'd like to say that it's not something you have to worry about now. Like, don't think about what job I'm going to do if I graduate in biotechnology. It's not something you have to decide now because there are some jobs that exist today that won't exist in the future, and vice versa. Some jobs will be created a few years from now. So you don't have to worry about that. The most important thing is that you're passionate about science and research, and this is the right way, and this is the right place to be trained, and then to decide what's the best for you in the future. So I think the presentation is over, and me and my colleagues are open for any questions you have for us. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chiara and Eufemia. So as Eufemia was saying, we still have time. So we will have a Q&A session. So you can write your question in the chat, and we will glad to answer you. We'll give you a couple of minutes to write them. And this question is for Professor Casari, maybe. What practical activities are integrated into the master's degree in biotech curriculum? What is the balance between theoretical and practical learning?
Well, the practical learning is included in some specific courses, like the analysis of omics, for example, or some other, I would say few courses include some practical approach, but most of this is left for the internship, where you have 12 months of practical or of hands on the bench, on the experiment. So I would say half and half. Half of the time you will spend doing practical experiments.
Another question, is it necessary to do the entirety of the 12 months of internship abroad?
No, you can also, it depends on your specific projects. You can spend even 6 months. And for this, for example, we have some specific Erasmus Plus opportunity. Erasmus Plus, this means that the student is supported in their staying abroad, but it depends on the project. So you can you can design a thesis project where you spend 6 months in San Raffaele and 6 months abroad doing your internship. Yeah.
What do you recommend doing to prepare for the test?
Okay, so well, of course, if you have a good preparation from the bachelor degree, from the Biotechnology triennale courses, I think you are already in good shape for the test. And I think it could be very useful to read some scientific paper and just to extract, just to try to do some summary. So when you read a scientific paper, then you can ask yourself, what is the main message that is included in this paper? What are the authors saying? What is the most important message that the author want to convey in this paper?
And also, if you want to practice before the test, you can find the last 3 years test questions on our website, so you can see the structure of the test and also try answering the questions and make the abstract and everything of the last. Like, you have three examples to practice on.
Good, thank you for remembering.
Is the test the only thing that affects admission scores?
Practically, yes. Because in the past, we also used some other parameters like the score for, but well, basically is the most important or the unique one.
Yeah, it's on 100, let's say 98 is based on 98 points are based on the test, and 2 extra points may be added if you have any further like scientific publications or internships not related to the thesis one that you can add when you register for the test. Then those documents can be evaluated and you can receive like maximum 2 extra points, but mainly is the test which counts more.
Okay, I'm going to read a last question for Eufemia or Chiara, maybe. Why choose to study biotechnology in English in Italy? What are the advantages?
I have to be honest with you. When I graduated my master's degree at that time, it was still in Italian. So I don't have a direct experience for that, but I'd say that it's not, I wouldn't talk about Italy in general, but I would talk about Raffaele, because I know that the level of English scientific production and English teaching in Raffaele is excellent and doesn't have anything less than any other university in Europe or abroad. So once you live in Italy, if you can, I would suggest that you give a try at Raffaele, because also the network and connection that we have here on a scientific level is the same as any other university. If not, I would say better. But I think that Chiara might give a personal experience on that.
Yes. Yeah, so when I had to choose my master's degree, I only considered English courses, because I felt that learning how to study in English is fundamental if you have to write in English and if you have to do a presentation in English. And as I wanted to become a scientist, a researcher, I felt that all these skills are skills that are needed to succeed in this field. So it felt like something that was right and at the same time necessary, to become a researcher, because the field is mainly entirely in English. You only write and speak and do all your scientific activity in English. So you might as well start from your master's degree.
Okay, thank you so much. I do not see any other question. So I thank you all for being here this afternoon with us. And of course, I thank all our speakers of today. We are available, and if you want, you can write your questions, your other questions in the chat, and we will answer just writing. So thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Grazie a tutti.